Welcome, everyone, to Chelmsford High School's 101st commencement for the graduating class of 2018. My name is Brendan Malone, and I am the secretary of the senior class. Would you all please rise and remove your caps for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner? Everyone, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brendan. Dr. Lang, members of the Chelmsford School Committee, honored guests, families, friends, faculty, and of course, members of Chelmsford High School's graduating class of 2018. I am Dean John McIsaac, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you this evening to our 101st commencement. Before we officially start the program, we wanted to thank a few people for the contributions in making this event possible. Without the contributions of these folks in planning, rehearsing, setting up, and executing this event, we certainly wouldn't be able to be here tonight for such a joyous occasion. A special thanks goes out to Principal Stephen Murray, who is unable to be here this evening, the deans, Dean Joshua Blagg of Hawthorne House and Dean Dr. Robert Lyons of Emerson House, the main office staff, Ms. Moreau, Ms. Emanuel, and especially Ms. Rick, the House Secretaries, Ms. Baraldi, Ms. Dusowitz, and Mr. Stacy, Callista Cody, Charlie, Chris, and Matt, our custodial crew, Ryan Poisson, Tom Peterson, Dan Silva, Doug Maffetone, and a host of other folks from CTV, including a bunch of former graduates, Mr. Sexauer, Ms. Rader, Ms. Camo, Mr. Bartos in our guidance department, Ms. LaFlamme, and Ms. Sullivan, all of our faculty and staff at CHS who demonstrate genuine care for our students, and our National Honor Society volunteers. As you can see from the program, we have a number of special guests here this evening who have spent a great deal of time crafting thoughtful messages to help commemorate and celebrate this special occasion. First, I would like to welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jay Lang.
Thank you. Before I get started this afternoon, I would just like to recognize a few individuals who are on stage with us who don't have a speaking role later in the afternoon. At some point, individuals will be recognized, but there are a handful that I would like to at this time. When you are named, I would like you to just stand, please. But we have several members of our Board of Selectmen from Chelmsford here this evening. Members Pat Wojcik, Glenn Diggs, and Ken Lefebvre. We also have former school committee members Michael Rigney and Sal Lapoli. In the next row, I'd just like to recognize a few members of our central office staff. We have Assistant Superintendent Linda Hirsch. Members of our school committee, Dennis King, Al Thomas, Donna Newcomb, John Moses. Principal Emeritus, I believe everyone knows Mr. George Simonian. Our Coordinator for Counseling Services, Mr. Tom Wright. And he'll be introduced a little bit later on this evening, but Mr. Ben Cole. So good afternoon, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, parents, and the Chelmsford High School graduating class of 2018. You are a very special group of students who have excelled in the classroom in academics, on stage in musicals, plays, and performances, and also in the athletic fields. On behalf of the Chelmsford Public Schools Administration, I want to congratulate you on your many accomplishments. Today is a special day in your lives and one that you will remember for years to come. Class of 2018, you have developed many friendships and relationships that help to inform who you have become. Many of your friendships you have made along your journey in the Chelmsford Public Schools will be lifelong and supportive during the high and low points of the many years that lie ahead. I know you share with me a great sense of gratitude to the caring, committed, and dedicated elementary, middle, and high school teachers, administrators, and support staff who have looked out for you, guided you, supported you, and helped shape the young men and women you are today before me. Let's also not forget and take a moment to recognize the individuals who have helped make it possible for you to be here before me today, ready to take the next step in your journey and leave a mark on this world. You are so very fortunate to have the caring and committed supporters here in this arena today. Your mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, extended family members and friends, to celebrate your many accomplishments and recognize, again, the young men and women you have become. You have worked hard and should be proud of yourself and your accomplishments. Take a little time over the next few weeks to reflect upon your many accomplishments. You've worked hard to get here today, but there is so much more in store for you in the next chapter of your lives. Take advantage of the opportunities that are presented throughout your life. Challenge yourself to not accept mediocrity and push yourself to operate outside of your comfort zone. You leave Chelmsford High School with the knowledge and skills necessary to be successful in college, your career, in life. Enjoy life. Pursue what truly interests and drives you. I urge you to remain curious, excited about life and all the things in it as you leave Chelmsford High School. Some of you may know that I have 3 sons of my own, twins like you who are also graduating from high school this year, and a 3rd son completing his freshman year of high school. As a parent of high school seniors myself, I have gone through much of what you have this past year. Like many of you, our fall was filled with college visits, the application process, and back and forth discussions about what the boys should consider as a major and possible minors in their college studies. We also talked about what type of work they may want to pursue after college and the uncertainty that comes from being 18 years old and not knowing exactly what you may want to do for the rest of your life at this point. And that's okay. That's what the next phase of your schooling will help you determine. You've been provided with an outstanding foundation of knowledge and skills necessary to navigate life. It is now time for you to go and explore your true interests to find out what your life's work will be. There is excitement, optimism, and a sense of uncertainty in what lies ahead in the arena this afternoon. There are a few guiding principles that I've suggested to my own kids to keep in mind as they graduate from high school and move on to the next phase of their journey. I offer the same advice to you this afternoon. First, don't be afraid to make mistakes, but learn from them and challenge yourself not to make the same mistake twice. We all make mistakes in life. I make mistakes. Unfortunately for me, when I make a mistake, you may read about it in the newspaper or on social media. Who doesn't love Facebook these days? It's okay to make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. You have to take risks in life, calculated risks, toward achieving the goals you set for yourself. Mistakes will happen along the way. What's important is that you learn from your mistakes and you use what you learn to motivate yourself to achieve your goals. Second, I suggest and hope you find your passion. Find what truly excites you. Life is precious. Life is short. We all have a limited amount of time to make an impact in our community and the world in which we live. Don't sit back and allow or accept what happens to simply happen. Be an active participant in all aspects of your life. Be present. Be present every day in what you do. Contribute what you have learned, what you have been taught. Share your beliefs and values with the people you encounter in life. You have so much to share with others, the knowledge you have and will acquire, the life experiences you have and will witness. Be persistent, lead by example, have high expectations for yourself and those around you, and build trusting relationships in your personal and professional lives. In summary, I urge you to find your passion, find what truly excites you. It's okay to make mistakes along the way, but do all of it with integrity. Your name means something. Your reputation means something. Make good choices. Hold yourself to consistently high moral and ethical standards. Hold true to your values, beliefs, and principles when your values, beliefs, and principles are challenged. You will be judged and known by others based on your actions. You are who you associate and surround yourself with. Be reflective of your values, beliefs, and principles in your personal and professional lives. Chelmsford has provided you with an exceptional education. The program, services, and staff are second to none. Your teachers, counselors, and administrators, support staff have gone above and beyond to make sure you received the very finest education you possibly could. At times, our staff have served as mentors, role models, or just a caring, compassionate adult, willing to listen and provide advice on issues you may have been dealing with. At times, our supportive adults have helped you socially and emotionally cope with being a high school student and all of the challenges that presents. Chelmsford values educating the whole child, and your education has been shaped by these values. Addressing your social and emotional health and well-being is as important as providing academically rigorous coursework to our students in Chelmsford. Take what you have learned, the life lessons you've experienced, be kind to others, and have gratitude for the educational experience that has been provided to you in the Chelmsford Public Schools. Consider for a moment all of the graduates who have come before you that you will soon join as alumni of Chelmsford High School. You have a lot to be thankful for. You have accomplished much in your academic life. You have earned the privilege to walk across the stage later on this evening and receive your high school diploma and be recognized as a graduate of Chelmsford High School, a graduate of the Chelmsford Public Schools, one of the truly finest public school systems in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The Chelmsford Public Schools has been a caring, safe, supported, and structured learning environment for you throughout the years. It is time to go seek the opportunities that await you. I ask that when you leave Chelmsford High School, you continue to push yourself to learn, to work hard, to enjoy life, and give back to the community and the schools that have supported you and provided you with so much support throughout the years. In closing, I want to congratulate you on your accomplishment. Good luck, Chelmsford High School class of 2018, as you begin the next chapter in your life. Make us proud.
Thank you, Dr. Lang. My name is Bobby Lyons. I'm the Dean of Emerson House, and I have the honor of introducing a variety of speakers tonight. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage the chairperson of the Chelmsford Public School Committee, Mr. Dennis King.
Invited guests, faculty, parents, friends, and members of the Chelmsford High School class of 2018. It is my pleasure to be here with you tonight on this special occasion. When I first started to think about what I would say to you here today, I was struck by the fact it was a mere 35 years ago that I was sitting where you all are now, waiting to graduate from Chelmsford High School. As I sat there listening to the speakers and waiting for my name to be called to receive my diploma, I thought I had my life all planned out. I knew where I was going to college, I knew what I was going to major in, I knew what job I wanted to have and where I wanted to live. Never in my wildest dreams on that day did I think I would become a teacher or a coach, and I certainly never pictured myself addressing the CHS class of 2018 at their graduation as a member of the school committee. That just wasn't me. I wasn't the outgoing type. I didn't relish standing up in front of a class to do a presentation, much less speaking in front of a large arena in front of hundreds of people. I would never purposely put myself out there to be in the public eye. But a funny thing happened. Life happened. Life will throw lots of things at you once you leave the halls of Chelmsford High School. You'll have decisions to make. You'll have opportunities to take. My advice to you is not to be afraid to make those decisions. Don't be afraid to take those opportunities. Don't shy away from trying new things, going new places, and meeting new people. In the end, who you become is up to you and you alone. Who knows, 35 years from now, you might find yourself up here addressing the Chelmsford High School class of 2053. Congratulations to you and to your families for all that you have achieved in the past. Best of luck with all the experiences you'll have in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. I'd like to introduce Dean Joshua Blagg, who will be offering the principal's address in the absence of Principal Stephen Murray. Dean Blagg.
Good evening and welcome to all parents, staff, and students. My name is Joshua Blagg, and I proudly serve as the Dean of Hawthorne House. I am honored today to speak on behalf of our Principal, Steve Murray, as he is unable to attend due to illness. Principal Murray sends warm regards and so wishes he could be here to share this special occasion with you all. Once again, welcome to Superintendent Lang and Assistant Superintendent Hirsch, the school committee, and our honored special guests. Today is also a special day for 4 other people. I would like to take a moment to first acknowledge Ms. Cindy Sandholm, Ms. Donna LaGrange, Mr. Michael Demers, and Mr. Doug Greenfield. This is their last school year as well. All are retiring at the end of this school year. Collectively, they have taught at CHS for over 50 years. They stayed in Chelmsford for all these years because they love the school, the community, their jobs, and of course you. This showed each and every day, and the work that students produce are true indicators of their love and talent. We will miss them as colleagues and mentors and as friends. On behalf of the staff and students at CHS, I want to say congratulations and thank you for your years of service. We wish you all health, good luck, and good fortune in your retirement. Students, now would be a great time to give these teachers a warm round of applause. When I reflect on this class, I think of you as a class of students who are inclusive and support of each other, regardless of background and regardless of to what group a person has belonged. People often talk about how students nowadays are more focused on themselves and not around the world around them. Considering the people in this graduating class, I cannot disagree more with this view. I would characterize this graduating class as leaders and as students who are not afraid to take a stand. Author John C. Maxwell said, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." This was never more evident than in the student walkout last March in response to the horrible Stoneham Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. A world-renowned philosopher once said, "The world needs to hear young people's ideas now, so speak up. Speak for whatever it is that you believe in. Make your own independent conclusions and let the world then hear them. Don't let any outside pressures morph your beliefs." When your class president, Patrick Slattery, said this, he was talking about the resistance you were hearing from groups who did not want this march to happen. People who support gun rights were critical of your march, and people who were in support of greater gun regulation were critical that our students' leaders' message was not strong enough. Neither group could get beyond their own opinions and bias, and thus could not hear the message and purpose of the march at Chelmsford High School. Our group of 12 student leaders were true to form. They were inclusive of all views and feelings. This group of 12 student leaders were comprised of students from both perspectives. However, their message was unified. The mission and purpose of this march was asking people to put aside their own personal bias and focus on the collective goal, which is school safety. How could anyone be against that message? Living in the age of social media, it can be very hard to take a public stand. The freedom of social media allows people to express uninformed and inaccurate views and state them as fact. This unfortunate dynamic makes people shy away from taking a stand for fear of unwanted reprisals. Barack Obama said, "It's easier to be cynical, to accept that change isn't possible, and politics is hopeless, and to believe that our voices and actions don't matter. But if we give up now, then we forsake a better future." You already took the hard step. Keep taking strides. We need your voice, your activism, and your leadership. Maya Angelou said, "One isn't necessarily born with courage, but one is born with potential. Without courage, we cannot practice any virtue with consistency. We cannot be kind, true, merciful, generous, or honest. You clearly demonstrated that you are kind, true, merciful, generous, and honest. It is these attributes that define the community that is Chelmsford High School." A student who moved into Chelmsford as a freshman recently shared in class that he had spent most of his childhood moving from place to place with his family. He also shared that he had never felt true happiness or a sense of belonging as he moved from state to state and school to school. He felt adrift and unmoored until he came to CHS. Through tear-filled eyes, he shared that here at Chelmsford High School, people look out for one another and accept you for who you are. Here he had found a home. You as seniors have crafted a legacy and culture rooted in acceptance, tolerance, and love. For that, and for many reasons more, we are proud to have shared the last 4 years with you and are excited to hear about your successes in the future. It is with that thought that I say, job well done. But as you forge through the next stage of your life, do not be comfortable. Be even more courageous. Use this time to explore and try new things and ideas. You can always open up the menu at a restaurant and make the safe choice from the same appetizers on the inside cover. You might be satisfied, but you will never be fulfilled, because that is not a meal. Your future schools, jobs, and communities have a lot to offer. Take advantage of that. Do not let the next stage of your life slide by and leave you with the thoughts of, I wish I had done that, or I wish I had tried that. For you not to demonstrate your courage would be depriving your community of true leadership. You are a wonderful class with unbound potential. Please do not be strangers. Keep in touch. Congratulations to all of you. We are so proud of you, and we wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Blag, for that wonderful message. As much as CHS is a comprehensive high school that offers a quality 21st century liberal arts education, extensive co-curricular offerings, numerous student-run clubs and activities, a wonderfully supportive community comprised of dedicated parents, a strong community, and a vibrant and active alumni association, a school is ultimately judged on its ability to produce high-quality, college-ready students. Our student speakers tonight more than exemplify this rich tradition. It is my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, our class salutatorian, Fanny Rian.
Congratulations and welcome, class of 2018, to the next part of your life. 12 years of education have led up to this moment, and the worst and best part is that there's no telling what lies ahead. We are all heading straight into the great, terrifying unknown. But wasn't that how we felt about CHS just 4 years ago? As freshmen entering the school for the first time, we felt so small back then. We were stressed about getting lost in the halls and worried about going to the wrong lunch. Not that I still do that sometimes. We stood in awe of the upperclassmen who appeared so confident and intimidating. But look around at us now. Each one of us found our place at CHS, and now you're about to find your place in the world. Of course, it wasn't always easy. You've sacrificed sleep to stay up late studying. You've spent countless hours on projects and survived pop quizzes. You've juggled homework on top of extracurriculars, sports, and a social life. You even adapted when our school's entire classroom layout was rearranged. But you overcame it all, and thankfully you had help and guidance all along the way. Our teachers, administrators, counselors, coaches, and the rest of the faculty at CHS have cared about all of us deeply and prepared us exceptionally well for what is to come. And of course, our parents, siblings, and friends have supported us, made us laugh, and picked us up when we have fallen down. Make sure you take the time to thank all of these important people in your life. Thank you, Mom, Dad, and Emily. I really couldn't have gotten here without you. And now, after all that hard work, you are ready. You stand before me as talented and accomplished scholars, athletes, musicians, artists, and leaders. The list goes on and on. You have grown into mature, confident men and women and are completely equipped to take on the world. So, why is it so hard to say goodbye? I think it's so difficult because of all the little things that have made CHS our home. We'll miss the smiles and familiar faces, the hallways you know like the back of your hand, and even the sound of a xylophone for the morning announcements. Like many of you, I'm sure, I'll miss driving past the horse on Graniteville every morning on the way to school. No more pep rallies and no more school dances. This place has been our home for 4 years, so it's hard to let it go. But we'll always have the memories. And most importantly, we'll always be Lions at heart. So instead of looking back on these 4 years with sadness, let us remember with gratefulness all the experiences we had here. Without them, we would not be who we are today. In just a few short months, we will all be heading our separate ways, whether that is college, the workforce, the military, or a gap year. And it will be very different from our time at CHS for one major reason. You will be in charge. There will be no one holding your hand, no one leading the way, and no one making sure you are sticking to your goals. Many of us here got our driver's license when we were 16 and a half. It let us drive ourselves where we wanted to the places we wanted. It gave us control. In many ways, this diploma we are all about to receive is also a driver's license, but for life. From now on, you will be at the steering wheel, and the roads you follow and the trails you will blaze will be entirely up to you. That's why you need to own that driver's seat, because you certainly don't want to realize later on that you lived your life as a passenger. Don't shy away from opportunities. Seize them. Don't wait for things to happen to you. Make them happen. Sometimes the road to your dream will be treacherous. You might get lost. You might have to take some detours along the way. But you know what? That's more than okay. It means you're trying and you're growing. Remember, it's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, everybody would do it. What matters is that you get back in the seat and keep driving, and you'll always have us to help you up. My last piece of advice for you today is once you've found what you love to do, do it. Listen to your inner voice and don't let it be drowned out by the traffic out there. Some of you might have already found that thing that gets you up in the morning and keeps your mind buzzing at night. Some of you might not have found it yet, and that's perfectly fine. You're bound to find something that makes you click if you keep exploring your interests and you make some stops in the back roads. But don't settle, because by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. Congratulations again, class of 2018. I'm so proud to be among you all, and I can't wait to see you all take the driver's seat in your lives.
Thank you, Finney. That was a wonderful message. If we could please hold off on the beach balls and balloons, that'd be helpful. Thank you. For the presentation of the class gift, please. You guys never really listen to me anyway, huh? For the presentation of the class gift, please join me in welcoming to the stage the class treasurer of the class of 2018, Tommy Snelson.
All right. Before I present the class gift, I'd like to extend a big thank you to my mother and father, along with my whole entire family. You all pushed me to be the best that I could be, and I wouldn't be standing up here without your love and support. I'd also like to give a big thank you to you, the whole class of 2018, and all the CHS faculty members. These were truly the good old days, and I'm more than glad that I got to spend it and work with so many inspiring people. You've all given me so many memories that I'll cherish forever. With that said, I'm happy to announce that for our gift, we'll be partnering with the class of 2017 to construct a brand new stone sign on Graniteville Road. It'll be engraved with the Chelmsford High School insignia. Congratulations, class. Congratulations, class of 2018, and take it easy.
Thank you, Tommy, and the class of 2018 for that thoughtful gift. Since Chelmsford High School was opened in 1974, Principal Emeritus George Simonian has always identified the most important student in the school to be the class president. Not only is the president responsible for leading the class, the president is responsible for taking the pulse and working with the school leaders to help the school continue to evolve and come together. It is no surprise, due in no small part to their contributions to this wonderful institution, that each class president's name is inscribed and memorialized on a placard in the main hall. This year's class president has certainly lived up to these expectations. Please welcome this year's class president, Patrick "Pat" Slattery.
Congratulations, class of 2018. On behalf of this amazing graduating class, I would like to welcome our distinguished guests, esteemed members of the school committee, Central and Chelmsford High administration, faculty, family, and friends to the commencement for Chelmsford High School's 101st graduating class. First, I want to offer some expressions of thanks for the graduating seniors and from me personally. Mr. Steve Murray, thank you for making Chelmsford High such a welcoming environment and teaching us to never take ourselves too seriously. Your friendly smile and scooter riding through the hallways makes Chelmsford High a better place. Deans Lyons, Blagg, and McIsaac, and the staff of all three houses, thank you for the always welcome advice, mentorship, and kindness. I want to add a personal thank you to Dean Lyons and all of Emerson House for the immense support you've shown me personally during my high school career. I believe we all also owe a huge debt of gratitude to Miss Sullivan and Miss LaFlamme. Much of their work over the past 4 years was unrecognized, but I can honestly say that this year would not have been as nearly as fantastic as it was without their guidance. And from the entire senior class, thank you to all the amazing teachers who have made our success their first priority these past few years. We are extremely lucky at Chelmsford High to have teachers who go absolutely above and beyond for their students. And lastly and personally, to my parents, thank you for your continued support and for all the love, even though I may be your third favorite child. And most importantly, thank you to all of you, my fellow graduates. You have all been truly remarkable classmates, peers, tutors, mentors, and most importantly, friends. I will wholeheartedly miss seeing each and every one of you next year, and I hope you feel the same. Thank you for making my high school experience truly extraordinary. Now, today is our day. Today is your day. Today is the results of countless tests graded, essays reviewed, books read, labs finished, and the occasional cramming a full night's homework into the 20 minutes of plus block. Think for a moment about all that you've accomplished during your brief 4 years of high school. Especially during the senior year, our class has done some truly remarkable things. Some of you spent a good part of the year watching your diet. This was not so you could fit into that perfect prom dress on Wednesday, but rather you kept a rigorous diet, wore extra layers to sweat off extra pounds, furiously exercised every day, and eventually led a team of talented underclassmen to a wrestling state championship. Some of you stayed hours and hours after school working on set design, memorizing lines, coordinating lighting, choreography, and music for one of the best musicals the Performing Arts Center has ever hosted, Anything Goes. Members of the class of 2018 were involved the entire time, leading the way. Many of you are here before and after school, practicing for an upcoming concert, competition, or halftime show. Some of you have become distinguished leaders in the classroom, earning high marks through late-night study sessions and a genuine love for learning. The class of 2018 is full of leaders of clubs, staying several hours after school most days, and leading their respective organizations through exciting events and community service. A large number of you have involved yourselves outside of the high school through employment or outside hobbies, activities that have led to new interests or amassing valuable real-life experience. Some of you have quietly and persistently helped out at home, providing relief and support for parents and guardians, and in the process, attaining a level of maturity that many adults take years to realize. Finally, some of you may not see yourselves fitting in any of the examples that I provided. Nevertheless, you came to school, got your work done, and hopefully enjoyed yourself as you gained independence and began to morph into young adults. Regardless of the path you found yourself on these past years, high school was probably the best 4 years of your young lives. You deserve to think and feel this way, with countless accomplishments and memories that will last a lifetime. I count myself among you if you think that this is the best time of your life. But I'm here to tell you, it will not be the best 4 years of your life. It cannot be the best 4 years of your life. Now, please don't misinterpret my message. This does not mean that you should not cherish this time. It does not mean that you should not have fond memories of your teen years. But it does mean that the best is yet to come. Think about it. While these might have been the best years so far, they really should not be the best 4 years of your life. In order to be successful in whatever we pursue after today, we have to be ready to move on. In order to be happy, in order to grow, we will need to move on. Do not forget your memories and accomplishments here. Never forget them, and always be proud of what this institution has done for you. But now is the time to begin to take your wisdom and skills and apply them to greater things. Take your knowledge from the classroom, your leadership skills, people skills, critical thinking, or whatever else Chelmsford Public Schools has taught you, and use it all to the fullest advantage next year and beyond. And even if you count yourself among those who were miserable during high school, there are better years ahead. Many of us will be nervous. Many of us will be afraid. We will be very soon confronting great change, whether on a college campus or in basic training or with some kind of employment. But please make it your mission, your purpose, to turn the next 4 years and then the next and then the next and then the next into the best years of your lives. Be proud of that magnificent milestone called graduation today, but then quickly move on to your future. I can't wait to see what good you all do in the world. Thank you. The responsibilities of the senior class president require someone who is confident, well-organized, a good communicator, and simply put, a leader. The class of 2019's choice is all of these things. And I am more than certain that the next senior class is in great hands. William Marcotte is an exceptionally kind, responsible, and well-spoken young man. You may recognize him from his countless large roles in the Chelmsford High School Theater Guild productions. However, this past spring during elections, Will proved that he is able to connect with more than just those he knows from his time in the theater. Since the day Will was elected, I have witnessed a hard-working, yet fun-loving young man who is excited to lead his class through his senior year. It is my honor to pass the gavel to the president of the class of 2019, Mr. William Marcotte.
Thanks, Pat. Now, before anything else, let me say congratulations, class of 2018. Today, each and every... Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Today, each and every one of us is here to celebrate the last 4 years that you certainly have taken by storm. From being lucky enough to get to know so many of you, to almost being run over by a scooter on your last day of school, I, for one, can certainly say it's been an unforgettable experience that I really am going to miss, along with the students and staff of CHS. Some may say that there were a few bumps in the road leading to today, But to me, each of those bumps added some character to your class, something that made you far more different than the rest of us, and trust me, you stand out. From all the dances to the sporting events, the concerts and the plays, it's going to be very hard for future classes to leave such a lasting mark on the halls of CHS like you have. And after such a great senior week, I think it's also time to thank the class officers that spend so much of their time to bring you a great week and an unforgettable year. So to Pat, Brian, Dee Dee, Tommy, and Brendan, on behalf of the class officers of 2019 and frankly the entire school, I want to say thank you. It's without a doubt in my mind that you are the greatest role models we could have asked for. If any of us had a question, we were certain that any of you would have jumped in to help, whether it was stressing about our cotillion or if it was just me last night texting Pat, what do I wear tomorrow? You've shown us how to plan for the future of our class and make sure we know how to make next year fun and memorable for those in ours. Each one of you is determined, kind, and quite frankly, some of the funniest people I've had the pleasure of meeting in my time here. So I'm grateful to be able to carry the torch that you brought along for the past year, and I hope I'll be able to make you proud. I'm going to miss you, class of 2018. And though it may not be high on your list of priorities, remember Chelmsford. Remember all the things you experienced here, and remember how they shaped you to be who you are today. So congratulations, because you have earned it. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Will and Patrick. The valedictorian is a position of supreme honor. As our highest achieving student, the title of valedictorian represents the student who has excelled over a 4-year period in every aspect of his or her studies. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's valedictorian, Emerson's own Lindsay Ambrosino.
I'd like to start today by thanking many of the people in this room, because without you, none of us would be here, and that would make for a fairly lame graduation. So thank you, Mr. Murray, Deans Lyons, Blagg, and McIsaac, guidance counselors, secretaries, administrators, teachers, who deserve way more appreciation than could ever be rightfully given, parents, siblings, families, and friends who keep us sane, particularly my amazing family. And of course, you all, the class of 2018. We made it. Now it's story time. At the age of 19, Kaiser Wilhelm II was taking a vacation in Europe. While on the beach, he began to feel rather bored and decided to start throwing stones at beach huts. You know, normal, bored, but not at a graduation behavior. Well, this greatly angered the 16-year-old Alfie Price, whose father owned those huts, and he marched down to Wilhelm to challenge him. The German asked, "Don't you know who I am?" Which, of course, can be universally translated to, "I'm important and can do what I want." And Price angrily replied, "I don't care a dash who you are. Stop chucking stones or it'll be the worse for you." This wasn't, Alfie then decided to, as it is described by the internet, bop Wilhelm on the nose. This wasn't a friendly, soft bop, but rather a full-on punch that was followed by much more fighting. It is now widely accepted that this is the incident that caused Kaiser Wilhelm II to despise the British, which many insist played a major factor in starting World War I. Now that escalated quickly, didn't it? A bop on the nose leads to a war. I know it sounds like a stretch, but I can assure you that be it a long shot or not, the story is true and its effects are widely recognized. And yes, my sources include more than Wikipedia. Regardless, my main purpose today is not to talk history with you, because if you know me, that's not necessarily my idea of fun. It'd more be talking about math. But my purpose today is rather to demonstrate an idea that I fully believe in. If we had known from that our first day to our last, our time in school would total over 49,680,000 seconds, would we have savored seeing the clock tick down, or would we have feared the speed with which the moments came and went? Our graduation is only a big thing because it's the culmination of little things that, like a bop on the nose, can have and have had a much greater impact. That's what I want to communicate today. Be mindful of the little things in life. I think the first half of this idea is that sometimes the little things that seem so important become so insignificant with time. We all get stressed. We all worry. We all have tasks we think we'll never finish, classes and days we think will never end, problems we think will never be resolved. But right now, sitting at our graduation, the majority of these things are no longer on our minds. None of us are sitting here, I hope, worrying about that chemistry test grade or that time we didn't know the answer to our teacher's questions. The petty arguments with friends have faded. All those never-ending long blocks eventually did end. And the impossible assignments turned out to be possible. And even the impossible assignments that remained impossible and we didn't do are no longer a worry. That is, in essence, the takeaway from today. We did it. There may have been tears shed, sleep lost, and many figurative nose bops, but the things that once blocked our paths are now far behind us, and we are searching for our next obstacles. It's a delicate balance that falls between caring and obsessing. We have to care. What's the point if we don't? But we can't let anything stop us in our tracks for too long. We can't give unimportant things the power to invade our thoughts and control our sanity. We have to recognize the things we've accomplished and already and use that to convince ourselves to take a deep breath and move on. The second, and what I believe to be the more important half of this idea, is that sometimes the little things that seem so insignificant become so important with time. While we'll always remember the big events, like the pep rallies, our prom, and our banquet night, we'll also remember the little mundane things. It's the little details that have made high school so special, and it's the little details we have to pay attention to. Over our years, we've heard story after story of success in the face of adversity, and more often than not, it came down to a few little things that made the difference in a person's life. You never know when your words or your actions can send someone down one path or another. I think my plus block teacher, Mrs. Ansa Tomaso, put it best when she wrote to us, "If you're too busy to be decently kind to everyone you encounter, then it's time to revisit your schedule. You'll remember the times when you could have been kind but chose not to, and it will pain you." While this quote speaks to the fact that Mrs. A should probably be up here writing the speech instead of me, it also points to the idea of taking advantage of our time. We've been given this extraordinary ability to have such a large impact so simply and succinctly. Small words and acts of kindness can do big things. So take the time to sit with the people you care about and have real conversations. We often put up facades and speak on the surface, but genuine, substantial conversations will be what you remember and miss one day. Be bold. Tell people how you feel. Show appreciation where it's deserved, and don't spend too much time where it's not. Know your power. With all of the big things that happen in our lives, it's easy to lose sight of the little moments. Sometimes it feels like we are constantly racing to keep up. But it's important to remember that a bump in the road won't lose the race for us, and neither will a pit stop to make a difference for someone else. Go around giving positive nose bops, figuratively please, and decide when the bops you receive are worth worrying about and fighting back, and when you should let them go. That's not something that I, or anyone else for that matter, could decide for you. We each have the power and responsibility to determine for ourselves what little things matter, what little things will start a war in 7 years, and what little things won't be on our minds in 7 weeks. So as we all go forward in our lives, we must be mindful of our words and our actions, be true to ourselves, and understand the impact we can and will have on others and on the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Please join me as I welcome this year's Vice Presidents of the Class of 2018, Didi Patel and Brian Tong, to introduce our faculty speaker.
Good evening, everyone. As you know, Principal Murray is currently recovering from an illness and cannot be here with us this evening. He's played an instrumental part in our success here at CHS, so we have decided to send him with a little token to remember us by.
On the count of 3, we will all scream, "We love you, Mr. Murray," followed by cheers. and we'll make sure this video gets to him. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Now back to the formal introduction. We couldn't be prouder or more honored to be representing the class of 2018 as your co-vice presidents and to be introducing this year's commencement speaker.
Class of 2018, look around. These are the faces of the people that you've known for the past 12 years. However, these are not just the faces of your classmates. They are the faces of your childhood, your teammates, your motivators, and most importantly, your friends. But I can safely say, after our 4 years here at CHS, they have become the faces of your extended family. I personally cannot be more grateful to have grown up with such an amazing group of kids, so from the bottom of my heart, I thank you.
The success of our class is obvious, and when I think of this class, I think of all the successful athletes, musicians, artists, scientists, and much more. We've shaped each other's lives, and all the field trips, competitions, and award nights wouldn't have meant anything if we didn't have each other to share them with. So whatever path we choose in life, may we always be friends when we meet again. Most importantly, we couldn't have made it to this moment alone. Behind our successes stand the strong, dedicated teachers and faculty of Chelmsford High School who made sure we reached this distant dream of graduating, which has finally become a reality.
This year's speaker is just not merely a teacher. He is also a mentor, comedian, and everyone's friend. Mr. Cole consistently, generously, and humorously shares his passion for teaching with his students while connecting with them on a personal level all at once. He's someone you can always speak your mind to, someone you can always count on to crack a smile on your face, and someone who genuinely cares about the well-being of everybody in the Chelmsford community.
Mr. Cole unselfishly and endlessly shares his time, knowledge, and passion with his students. He doesn't just teach us information from a textbook, but teaches us how to face the real world and become better versions of ourselves. His life stories are immaculate, and his life lessons are invaluable.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome us and in joining this year's 2018 commencement speaker, Mr. Benjamin Cole.
Okay. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you to Tom Peterson, Dan Silva, and Craig Robertson. They've helped me an awful lot. I also, as a teacher, well, you guys know me, I don't have a modest bone in my body, so I hope you take what I'm saying to heart. I don't deserve to be up here. I'm accepting your thanks, but for me to be up here, I feel that I'm a little bit above the other teachers that my children have had. My children have all matriculated through the Chelmsford Public School system. And they, from South Row to McCarthy, through the high school, and I know it would have been the same if they had gone to the Westlands, Byam, Center, Harrington, or Parker. Did I get them all? Yeah. The teachers that my children have had and that I've had the pleasure to work with are truly amazing, and they're one of the reasons I'm up here. So when I was told I was the commencement speaker, I was honored and humbled. And then I said, oh boy. I really did say that, not the other phrase. So I decided to go to the great books of antiquity for inspiration and, if truth be told, for material. So I perused Dr. Seuss, then a favorite author of mine and journalist, Tim Dorsey. I read one of Kurt Vonnegut's commencement addresses, and then everything I needed to know, everything I ever needed to know, I learned in kindergarten by Robert Fulghum. That last piece of literature, by the way, was published in 1987, the year I graduated from college. 7 years, 2 states, and 2 schools after I originally began. Yeah, I didn't find it that humorous then, but truth be told, it is a great book, and I wish the people at the Department of Ed, those that create the park, Common Core, and the MCAS would read it. But that's a whole nother diatribe, and this is your commencement. So there I was, 3 hours before I'm supposed to be up here and stuck with nothing to write. So I opened up to my poetry books, and I opened up to a poem by Philip Levine. The poem is about hope. And the title is To a Child Trapped in a Barber Shop. And to set the scene, I have to explain what barbershops used to be like. There were not any welcoming hairstylists. There were not, you couldn't put on your favorite TV show. And there just a steel transom or a turnstile that you had to walk through. And then there was the barber. He did not know how to smile. He smelled of smoke, Vitalis hair tonic, and Aqua Velva, which for those of you that don't know was the Axe spray of the 1960s, only worse. So there I was, and then I read this poem, To a Child Trapped in a Barbershop. You've gotten in through the transom, and you can't get out till Monday morning, or worse, till the cops come. That 6-year-old red face calling for mama is yours. It won't help you because your case is closed forever. Hopeless. So don't drink the Lucky Tiger. Don't fill up on grease because that makes it a lot worse. That makes it a crime against property and the state. And that costs time. We've all been here before. We took our turn under the electric storm of the mechanical shears and stiffened our wills to meet the close clippers and heard the true blade mowing back and forth, back and forth. And we stopped crying. You think your life is over? It has just begun. As I said before, this poem made me think of hope. And I am not talking about our hopes for you. Those are unconditional. I am talking about the hope you as children have given this cold, sarcastic, black-hearted curmudgeon of a teacher. You might not like being referred to as children, but I'm using that term out of respect. As adults, as teachers, we are supposed to be the ones that inspire and teach you. Instead, as I reflect upon my 20 years or so teaching, it is you as children, I'll start referring to you as young adults soon enough, who have done so much and inspired so many. It is you wacky, crazy, drive your parents nuts, make your teachers pull their hair out and bang their heads against the wall, who have built so much hope. Of course, in today's world of education, it's not just about teaching, it's about overanalyzing and evaluating everything, justifying every syllable about what we teach. So here are my 12 pieces of evidence to prove what I've just said. Okay. On days when I'm frustrated by the freshman classes I teach, which you were once part of, I walk down to the second floor. I stand outside the doorways of room 218 and 220, and I listen to the beautiful music coming out of your souls, your young souls. Be it the orchestra, the band, the choir, your music lifts my soul and fills me with hope, and in turn, strength. Juilliard, the Boston Conservatory, and Broadway have nothing on you guys. You might think that's hyperbole. It's not. You haven't even peaked yet. You have so much to learn, and you are so amazing at such a young age. Thank you for the hope. I then walked down to the corner outside of rooms 250, 252, and I look at the wonderful pieces of art on display behind the glass. I lose myself looking at your wonderful pieces. The training, the patience, the creativity that is on display is truly amazing. And again, it fills me with hope. And of course, I can always stand outside the Black Box Theater and listen to Ms. Cochran's class, working on improv or perhaps their lines. Some of the stuff that comes out of your brains makes me feel normal. That's not easy. I do my best not to crack up and interrupt your lines. Then I go back to my classes. But my batteries have been recharged, thanks to you, young adults. Then there are the incredible acts of kindness that you have done since you walked in through the doors of Chelmsford High School. Pat, salutatorian, Fanny, valedictorian, Lindsay, and the other members of the House have already talked about them. You may not realize it, but over the past 4 years, as part of the Leadership in Motion group known as LIME, you have contributed over $80,000 to local charities by participating in or taking part in the 24-hour relay. And that is a conservative estimate by your advisors, Ms. Leary and Mr. Bartos. And that also does not include the $125 that you have to pay each year to join said group. That's amazing. I thought that was a joke. Okay. There is also the money the Resiliency Program has raised in the past 4 years. This group of lovable miscreants raised over $4,000 in one night for the Jimmy Fund 2 months ago. Of course, it took incredible planning and perhaps a bit of nudging from Mrs. Blakely. But over the past 4 years, you have raised over $12,000 to help children suffering from a disease no adult should ever have to worry about, never mind a young child. And it's also something I'm personally thankful for. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the incredible work of those in the National Honor Society. You may not realize it, but your group raises more money for the Paul Center than any other group in the state, than any other group, period. Through your creativity, hard work, you raise, on average, $2,000 at least a year through the Hunt for the Cure. And again, I could go on and on, everything that Ms. Dulamis and Mrs. Gaffney say about you. Words cannot express all the wonderful things NHS and the other groups do. Those are just 6 reasons I'm filled with so much hope. Not every day, but each time I reflect on my time here, it is you who fill me with hope and make me look forward to teaching week after week, year after year. And as a tangent, I'm thinking that we should take the money that you guys can earn, pair you up with DECA, Mr. King's engineering class, and the groups from the math and science team, and who knows, maybe you could transform the now empty Kronos plant into a new school. God knows you may not have the degree or the experience, but I know you are more than capable of turning an empty place into a new school. That's a joke. Not really, not really. Okay. And again, there are so many of you who have done such wonderful things for fellow students, starting a tutoring club for those over at Parker, free of charge. There is also the stuff the Live Smart and Key Clubs do for the others less fortunate. The Best Buddies group, the selfless giving and assistance you provide fills me with hope. Or simply being a shoulder your friends can lean on when they're not having the best month of their lives. As teachers, when we see that, it fills us with hope, and it is inspiring. There are also amongst you some smart alecks, some knuckleheads, who may have been a tad disrespectful to your elders, to your teachers, to your deans when you first entered this school. Perhaps you had a lot of trouble getting here on time, or getting here at all. I spoke to your deans, Eli and Coach, and some of your teachers. They have been impressed by how more than just a few of you have matured, how you have committed yourselves to school. You have not only gained their respect, but word has it that some of you are going on to some pretty decent four-year colleges as well. Nichols, Westfield State, a couple schools down in Connecticut. That type of growth and maturity builds hope. And there is also the stuff that you do outside of school. As parents, we worry about what you guys are doing on the weekends. And of course, we speculate on all the bad stuff our neighbors' kids are doing on the weekends. To see a whole bunch of you renting out the Elks Club so you have a place to perform, jamming out tunes to an audience of your peers. No one in any form of altered state, just young kids playing and hearing good music, having a good time. That builds hope. Then to see you repeated at the Chelmsford Elks Club, at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts, 2 months later, then again as part of Chelmsford's In Tune, in which many of you performed, I am told, for the first time, alone or with perhaps just one other. That type of courage builds hope. And what's way back when in the 70s, there was a pretty good band, and one of their albums, the best one, was titled The Kids Are All Right. It had 4 disheveled youths sitting under a Union Jack, draped around them. It did not exactly instill hope in our parents, especially when we were listening to Baba O'Reilly playing on the turntable or the 8-track cassette. Parents, I am here to tell you that even though they may be driving you crazy and they're still making a whole bunch of mistakes, the kids are all right. Yep. And there were also our student athletes winning with grace and losing too, which stinks. But maintaining dignity, will, and tenacity. You don't lose that, and that builds hope. The last writer I'm going to bring up was the Rick Steves, or the Anthony Bourdain of the first modern millennium. He used to travel to parts unknown around the Eastern Mediterranean. Since there was no TV, Snapchat, or videos, he used to write letters. He once wrote to a group, I believe, in Greece, it was Corinth. He discussed the concepts of faith, hope, and love. He told them love was the strongest. I politely disagree. Not just because I'm divorced either. Hope is the strongest. Hope dies last. As long as you hope, as long as you have hope, all things are possible. As another Greek Hesiod stated, All you need is hope. That's all that Pandora left in the box. I'm going to take that as a cue to finish up. Okay? It's just an opinion. I'm not trying to change the gospel. So, yeah. Now, with all due respect to Mr. Vonnegut, who wrote in one of his commencement addresses that we shouldn't try to teach you anything in 12 minutes that you haven't learned in the past 4 years, there are 3 brief things I need to go over. First, stop like using like all the time. Like is a verb. It is also a preposition and can be used as other forms of speech. It is not an omni word. And it is not a filler word. Filler words are just excuses for being lazy. I like ice cream is proper. Not like on a hot day, like ice cream is the best thing ever. Believe it or not, the parsimonious use of the word like will be noticed and appreciated by your employers and your teachers. Besides, your graduates, you should be able to speak well. I mean good. That was a joke, yeah. And parsimonious is an SAT word. You should know what it means. Second, do not go out into this world expecting fairness and justice. You will be sadly disappointed. And perhaps might even become a little bitter. Fairness and justice are just 2 concepts put on earth so we can have a sense of irony and satire. But if you work for justice and you're fair in all that you do, you might be pleasantly surprised. Not you might, you will be pleasantly surprised at how truly wonderful and beautiful this world is. There are 2 people up here that are just that. Third, and finally, I'm going to paraphrase Sergeant Shriver. He is the founder of the Peace Corps. His wife, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, was one Kennedy that should have been inaugurated and living on Pennsylvania Avenue, but she did something much more noble. She created Best Buddies and the Special Olympics from her own backyard. I hope you think about his advice and apply it. In 1994, he told the graduating class of Yale University to smash all their mirrors. If he was alive today, I believe he would urge you to smash your phones. Yeah. No, not literally, which is another word you guys use way too much. Not everything needs to be Snapchatted, tweeted, or texted out. Feel it and experience it for what it is. Let it stay here and here, where it will remain safe. You might even see some nice clouds instead of looking down on your phone. Or, instead of looking down at your screen, you might actually see someone smile at you, and wham! There you go. You've met your significant other. Or you could just continue being self-absorbed. You might say, it's special. I want everyone to know about it. That's why I need to take this selfie. That's why I want to tweet it out. Well, to that I say, when everything is special, nothing is special. Come on, you can say it out loud. So, you got the picture? Develop it. You'll get more happiness and contentment and much less anxiety by interacting face-to-face with your friends than by counting how many followers you have on Twitter. Keep it special. Okay, that's it. To the administration, to my faculty, thank you. I hope I haven't done any irreparable harm to this great institution that is Chelmsford High School. To the parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, friends, Romans, countrymen, thank you for your patience. And to the class of 2018, as you walk through this imaginary transom or turnstile to your left, accept your diploma and exit through the transom on the right. I hope you are proud and excited. But if you are nervous or anxious, there's no need to be. Yes, high school is over, but a new part of your life has just begun. Thank you very much. Thank you for the hope. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cole. Class of 2018, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor at this time to present to the Chelmsford School Committee and the Superintendent of Schools the graduates of the class of 2018 for the conferring of their diplomas. On behalf of Principal Stephen Murray of Chelmsford High School, he has certified that the students before you have satisfied all graduation requirements and competencies as articulated by the Chelmsford Public Schools in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Let's begin handing these things out. Let's go.
The graduates of Emerson House: Lindsay Ann Ambrosino, Ethan John Andrews, Cameron Thomas Arena, Anne Marie Bailey, Elizabeth Francis Bayless, Nicole Lisa Baldwin, Alexis Patricia Barboza, Elena Beati, Bailey Foster Berglund, Christina Ford Byer, Haley Olivia Bjorklund, Marina Atef Boulos, Sean Philip Bordelais. Emily Ann Bruce. Devin William Boots-Mail. Jacob Thomas Coleman. Maria Elizabeth Combs. Jacob Warren Coombs. Brendan Wang Corcoran. Julia Rose DiAgostino. Shannon Elizabeth DiChara. Tyler Joseph Derry. Kylie Ann Dimitrov. Molly Keogh Doherty. Anna Christine Drake. Maya Noel Doobie. Nicholas Paul Eckelkamp. Johan Martin Figueroa. Christian Anthony Finn. Cora Barry Flynn. Rachel Bernice Foley. Wesley Michael Fortier. Andrew Martin Fautler. Matthew Thomas Gallagher. Abigail Elizabeth Gardner. Catherine Ann Gillette. Samantha Suzanne Gould. Laura Caitlin Grasso. Achal Nalesh Gunda. Lauren Ann Hamilton. Jessica Ann Hand. Catherine Brooke Haynes. Catherine Lynn Heineman. Ethan Wynn Hensley. Cora Carmen Hernandez. Martina Julia Higgins. Sabrina Lynn Hogan. Matthew Richard Homan. Paige Darlene Hughes. Zachary Robert Jarnigan. Kanmani Kabilan. Devin John Kenny. Ariana Marie Colonges. Francis Thomas Crass. Eliza Helen Krauk. Patrick Joseph Lambor. Marla Maria Leck. Adriana Erlin Lopez Lager. Sage Christopher Lyon. Christopher James Lyons. Hannah Rose McAllister. Kaylee Marie MacArthur. Madison Sunny McPherson. Cameron Elizabeth Mandela. Maxwell Henry Manganis. Elizabeth Shannon Manning. Gabrielle Marie Marcoulier. Avery Michael Markham. Caitlin Ava McCall. Christopher Sullivan McCarthy. Peter Joseph McCarthy. Margaret Helen McCartan. Shayla Erin McCormick. Dylan Joseph McElhenney. Caitlin Rose McGowan. Shannon Lee McLaughlin. Grace Suzawa Meikle. John Joseph Mischansky. Victoria Caitlin Malott. Elizabeth Catherine Moody. Adriel Robert Nguela. Scott Thomas Murtaugh. Connor James Nunnery. John Scott Osif. Komal J. Pandit. Selah Pan. Veronica Rosette Fett. Ellie Alden Piper. Andrew James Pitzios. Brendan Wang Pak. Nicholas Taylor Pottle. Rachel Mary Prince. John William Regan. Mark Edward Reitman. Fanny Denise Riand. Madison Michelle Ruman. Ruchi Parutasham Shanae. Nathan Quinn Sayer. Matthew Eugene Schwam. Anna Shi. Manogna Tripathi. Renee Elizabeth Sutherland. Robert Halleck Sweeney. Michael Joseph Silva. Stephanie Ann Tatara. Rourke Mitchell Thomas. James Robert Thomas III. Aiden Robert Tracy. Amanda Zunhung Tran. Kenny M. Truong. Alan Silkowski. Colleen Marie Tuberty. Alexander Giovanni Verselli. Nathaniel Cole Ware. Sebastian Hunter Ware. Cassandra Elizabeth West. Naomi Ann Wright. John Yim. The graduates of Hawthorne House: Jacob Julio Abad, Charlotte Francis Adams, Olivia Rose Adley, Jalen Kit Alto, Moira Lee Andrews, Sharon Rose Arokia Raja, Julia Elizabeth Ashley, Jenna Mae Baker, Sydney Jean Barron, Rachel Marie Beechin, Emma Elizabeth Bernier, Amaya Dananje Bott, Rebecca Patricia Bombard, Tarun Boma, Liam Michael Bowser, Luke Henry Briand, James Henry Briere, Benjamin Darren Burke, Christopher Scott Bungard, Dylan Shea Barati, Rocky Rome Burke, Lillian Rose Cardone, Christine Chen, Justin Yu Cho Chuk, Sam David Cohn, Jared Paul Connolly, Marissa Ann Capola, Casey Patricia Corbett, Mitchell Thomas Craven, Caroline Amaral Cunico, Charles Nicholas Daigle, Andre Xavier Danahy, Ryan Robert Daniels, Philip Robert Destremp, Hannah Rose Doherty, Ashley Charlotte Donahue, Emma Madison Dorff, Samantha Carlota Dress, Zahava Leah Erickson, Maria Julia Ferreira, Liam Thomas Fitton, Margaret Jordan Flanagan, Melanie Fu, Siobhan Chelsea Forgan. Julian Mateo Galliano. Harrison Richard Gilman. Haley Teresa Gogan. Emma Catherine Goldberg. Eric Jeffrey Graham. Justin Eric Richard Groves. Shalini Gupta. Alexander David Hargett. Sarah Horton Helmar. Stephen James Higgins. Allison Diana Holtzberg. Matthew John Hooten. David Forster Jones. Michael Wesley Jones. Justin U. Kamanuma. Mia Denise Kelly. Matthew Joseph Kivlin. Hannah Teresa Kuntz. Brendan David Lally. Alexandra Lynn LaMadeleine. Matthew Patrick Landers. Rachel Elizabeth Landris. Lydia Ann Lavarnway. Mackenzie Rose Leahy. Caitlin Ruth Ledwith. Eric Lefebvre. Justine Elizabeth Long. Megan Ann Long. Noah Alexander Ludwig. Kevin Joseph Lyons. Sophia Manukian. Julia Sienna Mabry. David Thomas McCarthy. Taylor Ann McCormick. Rachel Ann McGinn. Cassandra Vivian Merrill. Micah J.C. Migliorini. Tyler Scott Moralt. Fidel Jeremiah Nkabella. Anna Grace Moulaine. Elizabeth Ann Netakadan. David Joseph O'Meara. Samuel Alexander Orfanos. Arlette Ortiz. Shauna Nicole Ozana. Aaron Christopher Palermo. Isabel Eve Patriquin. Samuel Richard Patriquin. Dahlia Claire Pecchia. Jonathan Matthew Puffer. Joshua Arthur Pinn. Tanvi Vilas Rain. Maxwell Vincent Regan. Leo Cameron Riley. Lainey Danielle Rennie. Timothy Scott Rife. Grace Shea Rigney. Cameron Charlene Ryan. Jamie Ethan Cole Ross. Yvonne Michael Roy. Marie Lauren Saralt. Victoria Isabel Sebastian. Madeline Parker Severance. Jessica Lee Schumpf. Amia Tiana Samari. Catherine Rose Smith. Alan Joseph Souza. Erin Elizabeth Souza. Kayla Rose Souza. Stephanie Adeline Spinali. Nicole Lynn St. Peter. John Edward Stansfield. Samantha Alexis Sturzo. Michael Norman Terrio. Catherine Scarlett Thomas. Erica Tran. Joseph Vincent Vecchione. Tejashri Vempati. Jessica Hope Wagner. Caroline Cecilia Whalen. Charles Maxwell Wood. Megan Elizabeth Young. The graduates of Whittier House. Prabhakar Venkatesh Aditya. Malik Jamal Alwani. Heather Anderson. Caitlin Eileen Anderson. Sani Kashif Ashraf. Siddhant Banerjee.
No the cap!
Mrinalini Behera. Elizabeth Ann Benda. Michael Hugh Berry. Owen Patrick Busser. Ryan Timothy Callahan. Sarah Elizabeth Calnan. Amy Elizabeth Carey. Holly Douglas Cashman. Gina Elizabeth Castellano. Brianna Meichi Chan. Kira Joy Chan. Isabel Cecile Clark. Chelsea Francis Cody. Catherine Elizabeth Conley. Melissa Katrina Contover. Michael Chase Copa. Gabrielle Rose Cruz. Shannon Kathleen Curran. Shannon Elizabeth Dean. Sean Conway Dolan Jr. McGuire Westgate Donovan. Peter Dylan Driscoll. Rihanna Marie Edwards Thomas. Tatiana El Sissi. Christopher Richard Irvin. Jonathan Craig Flaherty. Michael Lawrence Gagnon. Isabel Nicole Chayada. Paige Noel Gerrans. Jacob Getzik. Karen Murad Gobriel. Joseph Jeffrey Giroux. Ronald Joe Gladson. Cynthia Jennifer Gleckis. Joseph Silva Goulart. Joseph Frederick Grande Jr. Liam Greener. Jeremy Guerin. Jessica Elizabeth Haig. Samuel Miller Hall. Ryan Michael Hart. Calvin Nirek Simone Him. Catherine Elaine Holland. Alexandra Victoria Hugler. Daniela Rosemarie Hugler. Sakshi Sandeep Gina. Liam Wallace Johnson. Samantha Renee Johnson. Vardini Karunaharan. Vinodini Karunaharan. Frederick Thomas Kennedy Jr. Lillian Marie King. Stephanie Nicole Cosman. Shauna Kara Lindsay. Alyssa Nicole Lopez. Salvatore Nicholas Lupoli. Jamie Ann Lynch. Luke John March. Nicholas Chandler Marcotte. Kate Marie McQuaid. Kiana Lynn Miller. Peter Joseph Miller. Maya Mohanty. Christina Linda Monahan. Luke Thomas Monahan. Abigail Rosa Morrissey. Abhinav Muralidharan. Allison Jean Murray. Walter Mutabano. Mackenzie Jacqueline Nichols. Crystal Lynn Noonan. Colin Kyle O'Brien. Jay Patel. Prajesh Patel. Nicholas Brian Perry. Alan Wayne Phillips. Maximilian Claudio Pizzicato. Margaret Alice Potter. Lauren Elizabeth Powell. Cameron Nichols Prees. David Gary Quadros. Elizabeth Ann Reed. Alyssa Marie Regan. Nicholas Charles Reinhold. Sean Michael Reynolds. Abigail Cleves Rich. Matthew Sean Roberts. Juliana Krista Ruff. Aaron Richard Schaefer. Alana Moselle Servin. Sophia Noel Shaw. Megan Kathleen Shea. John Patrick Shields. Thomas Peter Seopes. Jack Edward Slattery. Robert Charles Small. Lindsay Nicole Smith. Megan Eileen Susi. Cody Michael Spring. Emma Elizabeth Stevens. Kayla Nicole Stone. Cullen Patrick Stone. Nicholas Braden Stone. Audrey Ann Isabel Supreme. Kelsey Lynn Tinker. Olivia Grace Toussaint. Lam Gia Tran. Natalia Labatin Turley. Michael Harrison Untracked. Deborah Vasey. Mosab Ali Wahid. Michael David Wenning. Patrick Daly Wilson. Eric Walter Roble. Weston Meng Yu. Brendan Zuzis Malone. Thomas Cornelius Snelson. DT Atul Patel. Brian Duqui Tong. Porig William Slattery.
For our final and closing remarks, I'd like to bring back the class president, Porig Pat Slattery.
Members of Chelmsford High School graduating class of 2018, please rise. Please grasp your tassel and move it from the right side of your mortarboard to the left. Class, Class of 2018, we did it. Congratulations.